everybody. Can you guess what I was today at work? I had a dear client picked out my little outfit. I also had a rainbow tutu and a rainbow tail, although we can't really see that, so that's okay. Happy Monday, and I'm getting the day right today. I know it's Monday today. It was a surprise when it was actually Thursday. You guys are so good and got me right on the great path. So it was wonderful. Welcome everybody today, and I'm so excited for you to be here. We have the amazing hand behind the badge who anticipates my moves before I even seem to know them. So very, very excited. Want to see the tutu? Well, the tutu's in the other room because I've been home and the dear Emery has been trying to eat said tutu. But I do have it as part of my costume. So yes, so Hannah's behind the badge, anticipating moves before they even come, which is awesome. All my behind the badge folks are amazing. Make sure you share today for a chance at a $15 gift certificate to the shop. How great is that? And there's always sales going on. You can really extend that $15 with all those sales. Never know what you might see today that you might like. All right, today we're taking a closer look at the Cherry Blossom Bunch. We talked about this at the beginning of the month, and I was so super stoked about this one. And we didn't really get time to get to it. I even showed you in the back. I had this heat embossed one, and I was so excited. Hi. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you love, as my niece calls it, she calls them corns. Corns. It's short for unicorn. She calls them corns. So I will have to put my tutu on and get a picture so I can show my niece. Auntie was a corn, and she calls me Auntie Bridget. So not Auntie Bridget, Auntie Bridget. So, but that's okay. She calls me something, so that's good, right? All right. Hello, everyone, as you're coming in. It's so exciting to see you on this chilly Maine Monday. Monday. We're going to have some fun today. As I mentioned, I was so bummed we didn't get to this because there was so much goodness in the release. Kind of corn-y. Yes, it is. I am kind of corn-y today. So we're going to work on this a bit. And we're going to take a look and see. So what if we do it in the black embossing? What if we do it in gold and put some different colors together? We're going to go a little rogue with our colors. I am going to do the Martian terrain because love. And then I love to add in the Peach Perfect and the Coral Bliss in with my Martian terrain for a bit of a different look. So we're going to do that. And then if I really wanted to go wild, I have the other reds because I keep all mine by color so that I have, and this was released together. So I do keep that released together. And then we're going to sneak this in. This is all ready. Hang on, hand. Here we go. The must-have gel pen set. We're going to use the golds today. And then, oh, my corn is hitting my camera. So I've got to take my horn off here for while I teach with you. I will put it back on before the end to share again with you guys because love to share. All right, so let's get some stamping in because this hour with you guys goes by wicked fast. All right, so we have this one because I had this. This is make a bunch when you do some and just stick them in your packet and then you're ready to go. So I'm going to use the golds for our embossing today. So let's get it all set up and ready to go. All right. My mini thing here is fighting with me. All right. I thought I was going to hand stamp today, but we're not going to hand stamp today. We're going to go for it here. All right. And I got a cable that's a hanging here. So we'll hooky that over there. I have a little thing that goes over the eye on my computer so that people can't see me. And he has really big eyes. He's pretty cute. That's okay, Sherry. If I didn't have to go in for my externship today, I probably wouldn't have either, to be honest. My husband and I used to dress up to hand out candy because we live in the most popular neighborhood for candy. And so, yeah. If I wasn't going out today, I probably wouldn't have either. But he was a black cat he wanted Munchie Man to feel comfortable. So he dressed up like our cat. And then I dressed up like a chicken. All right. But I couldn't find the chicken feet. So I had to get a different costume this year. And a client was very nice and picked it out for me. All right. So I'm going to stamp this in opposite corners because I like to do that. I think it's just a neat effect that you can have. And I've been heat gun. Pop out hearts. Yes, that would be cool. That would be very cool. All right. So we're going to treat the paper because we got my oily little paws all over it. My human fingers make it a little oily. All right. So then I like to blow out the extra powder. So there, we just don't have extra. Just make sure not to inhale the powder as you are blowing it off there. Yeah, I love to do that, Deb. I love, if I've already got all the stuff out, I have a television show going. So I just kind of go ahead and I make a few extras. And that way, if I'm in a pinch and my mom says, oh, so-and-so's birthday is Tuesday, I really need a card, and it's Monday at 8:45 and time for bed, I can just come in and whip out a really, really quick card. So, and yes, Han is, we've probably gone in a circle with all my right turns here a few times, and she's keeping right up with me. All right. So I'm not going to heat emboss this yet, but because I can't really see what's going on, I'm going to put the embossing powder on there because I want to make sure that I don't stamp over this bit. But I love that trick of putting them kitty corner or catty corner. I've heard people say catty corner. I always thought it was kitty corner. Of course it's kitty with me, right? It wouldn't be doggy corner in the Casey household. It would be kitty corner. All right. And Emery has lent us some of her beautiful fur. So see, that's too close. So we are going to have to heat set this. No worries. We just heat set and then we just wiggle. We wiggle, we wiggle, we wiggle. All right. So we got this going and it's cold in Maine. So while it heats up, I usually warm up my hands. It's cheaper than oil. I just come in and emboss something and I'm nice and toasty. Okay. Kitty corner too. Your kitty corner. Yeah. I've heard a few people say catty corner. I had never heard that before. So it's funny how we all have those go-to sayings, and go-to sayings can be so different just by your geographical location. I always snicker on Facebook when it says, tell me where you're from in 2 words. And mine would be, I could do, lobster roll or lobster and pine tree, obviously Pine Tree State. But also we have fiddleheads here, which most people don't know fiddleheads. So there are a few things, whoopie pies, moxie, few things that are just very, very Maine. All right. Now I think we're good. Everybody looks shiny. To buy a card? What? Buy a card? Oh, goodness. All right. So now this, I don't have to worry about sticking my finger in it. So I'm going to kind of have it go here. And that's where I like it. So I'm just going to put it right in that corner there. And then I'm going to plop that down. And I am going to retreat though, because remember, I've had my little corn paws all over it here. I want to make sure I don't get, Emery did lend us some fur. She was very thoughtful. She's a very giving little floofy girl. Oh, and here she comes speaking. You mentioned the name, and here she comes. She's been in the windows a lot over the past few days. Oh, yes. Pumpkin chocolate chip. I just made those. I didn't do the whoopie pie portion. I stopped at the cookies. It made 60 cookies. I had some for the kids, and I took some to my externship, and then I gave some to both my bosses and my friend, because 60 cookies. It's a lot of cookies. My next endeavor are chocolate no-bakes. Love the chocolate no-bakes. I like chocolate peanut butter no-bakes better, but my coworker, who I'm going to make them for, she likes the chocolate. She brought home the peanut butter, chocolate chip peanut butter cookies I made. And I said, what did your kids say? Did they like them? And she goes, My daughter goes, "Oh, they're homemade." Oh yeah. Yeah, the colors, I had to go to Kennybunk. And the colors down there is about I'd say 10 days to 2 weeks behind us up here. We seem to change colors from the top down. And so yeah, I was able to see some beautiful leaf colors, which I kind of missed out on. It happened while I was recovering my bulk of my surgery recovery. I missed all the pretty leaves. So it was kind of a bummer. So I get to see some this weekend. Now, if you do get extra, so let's say you have an extra helpful furry person that lives with you and they love to give you fur as well, you can just take a dry paintbrush and come in. Emery likes to chew these, so as you can see, my bristles are a little wild. But you can come in and you can kind of clear it off. It doesn't bother me unless it's huge. If it's huge, I'll fix it. But should send some leaves to the Saturday crew. I missed what I should send. Some emery fur. Emery would definitely, we could donate some emery fur. I don't know. I lose, I think, as much hair as she does. So her and I, it's a competition. All right. Get this done. The screen's trying to go dark on me. We can't have that. And quite honestly, if you wanted to add, no, wait till I make sure I get this all done. Okay. If you wanted to add some splatter and put a sentiment on this, I think you absolutely can. I don't think you have to take it as far as doing the ink blending. And that's the beauty of Altenew. They give us the starting blocks and we can go so far with it. So you could just leave this. You could do some of the black enamel dots to decorate this out to make it really pretty. So see how pretty. But look how different. Okay, look how different of a look you get. This is the gold, the antique gold, and this is the black. So this is, just by that one decision, you get a totally different looking card. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our satin masking tape because it is the best. And I'm just going to put it in the corners. I'm not going to put it over my embossing. It should be fine, but I'm just going to put it down in the corners. And I'm also going to take my yoga towel here and just wipe off, because we had some embossing powder. We had some of that powder to make sure our sticky corn fingers didn't mess up our work here. All right, so I'm going to just put that down and then I'm going to pick it up. And the great thing about this Crafter's Alignment mat, you guys know I always talk about this, has those amazing lines, and it also has in the center a place for me to put my A2 card so that I know if I'm laying things out where everything will fit perfectly for my card. Absolutely love it. Now we're going to move over. This is a layering stencil set, and this does have layers to it. There are some that are simple coloring stencils, and those will have one layer. But this is a layering one, and you don't have to open it to see. It's just you flip it over on the back, okay? And you can see step by step what portions to add. So you add all the color, and there's one layer essentially for your floral. But we can turn that into more. So that's what we're going to kind of work on today. And the other thing is, this is telling me I should do the leaves first, but I don't want to. I want to do my flowers first. So that's what we're going to work on. We're going to work on our flowers first. So you don't have to follow these directions. You can go rogue, and we're on a crafty adventure. So rogueness is expected. Hello, everybody. How is everyone? I hope you are all doing very, very well. Okay, so on this, the number 2 refers to the stencil that we're going to pick. So we have number 1, which is our leaves and our little centers, okay? Which I love that we have the centers, because on this, you could put in a different color embossing powder. You could use, I'm with you, Teresa. It feels like you're eating a cake and then the frosting, as opposed to the frosting and the cake. It just feels backwards. Oh, Sherry, it's just a little powder tool. There are lots of options. This is one of the older ones, but it's refillable. So you could use cornstarch. If you have cornstarch at home, you can use that. It's basically just to take, and they also have other gadgets that you can use that apply the powder. So you have that. They have the bag like that. You could use baby powder. The lovely Lydia uses baby powder and she just rubs it off. Same thing. It's just to remove, because we have lots of oils on our hands. So that's all it is just to take it off. And I keep mine in a little bucket because, as you can see, it gets a little powdery in there. So we like to keep that. All right. So now, like Teresa and I, so let's see. Quick question for the day. Are you guys florals first or leaves first? Let's see where the group goes. Oh, good. Emery's knocking things over. Emery is on the scene, so she may appear. She's creeping in, and she is here, everybody. She has come to rub her face on the computer, and now she's leaving. All right. The other piece of advice I have, because while I'm putting my flowers here, if you believe you may have, oh, look at this, flowers first, flowers first. If you believe you may have difficulty in lining up the stamp, line up the stamp how it is, or if you stamped it, so this is how it's stamped in the platform. So it's a little crooked from there. But when I tape it down, I can tape it down so it matches exactly. That is a huge tip. Oh, Sue, there's no such thing as late. You're here. That's all that matters. If I get to spend any time with you guys, I'm super happy. Flowers first. Woohoo! And yes, I will pass on the salutation to Emery. She loves to come see everybody. That's the highlight of her day. All right, so I'm just going to pop this down. I never like to say that they're easy stencils to line up. I feel like I have an easy time lining up stencils. It's just the way my eye works. Like certain folks working on puzzles are easy. Like I have a really easy time working on a puzzle. I just can kind of see pieces and where they fit. Yeah, Lucy, that's a good idea too, to kind of go follow. And a lot of times, if you have a layering stamp from Altenew, the stamp is on the carrier sheet in the position. So if you just don't pick it up and turn it around and fiddle, you can just take it off the carrier sheet and move it over. And if you're in that same orientation, that's a good way to go. So remember that and use these layering guides, my loves. They really, really make a huge, 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 huge difference. All right, we'll get my ugly yoga towel out. Put this over to the side. So what I'm going to do, I will end up coloring over for the centers because my centers are going to get colored with whatever I use. I can try to stay away from them as best I can, but they're likely going to take a little bit of the hit there. I have two types of my blending tools. I have the detail blending brushes and I have the mini. Minis are my faves. Love the minis. Love, love, love the minis. Oh, Brendan, thank you for asking. I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for asking. All right, so we're going to go ahead. And I don't know, this is my orange one. And I did have one that was just for Martian terrain, because Martian terrain to me it's between the oranges and the pinks. Like it's such a unique color. I love it so much. So I like to have its own blending tool in all of its forms. So I'm going to use a little bit of the Pastel Sunrise. Okay. And you can come in where we have this open area of the little flibbity gibbets, as I call them. Oh yeah, if you don't like puzzles, layering dies probably are a little dicey too. I'm just going to come in, especially here, because it would be darker, because this is over that petal. Okay, so it's going to be darker there. And I'm just, because of that center, and you can have a flower with darker leaves there. And I hear you all going, as I come over here. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to put tape on that, I'm just going to put this right there. So if I go off, and you guys know I'm going to, right? Guys know I'm going to. All right, so we're going to go here. All right. And I'm leaving that kind of center area right there. So you can put a little color, you can just kind of go over it, because remember, on this set, we have this amazing, they gave us the thing to color in all of those. So we could do it after. On a stencil, if they didn't, don't forget, we have that masking fluid with that amazing detailed tip. So if you're trying to work on a project like this and you're like, oh goodness, those are going to get covered with my color. Those are two options, okay? Because you can always heat emboss after. Hello, hello. Updated labels. Ask someone if they know, if they plan. As far as I haven't heard any rumors about that yet, Teresa, but that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. I would love to have the ones for the first set of markers, the vinyl toppers came in stock. I just bought mine so I can put them on my blending tools. So if you guys have been waiting for those, check that out, okay? All right, so now I'm going to put Peach Perfect, all right? And it's not a lot different from, and we can do these 3 flowers different just to show you. So we're going to come in and I'm just going to put it at the tip. So I'm doing it kind of reverse because normally I would do this in the center, right? So I'm kind of doing it in reverse. I want that really dark in there. So my flower is going to be lighter in the center. But you know what the great thing is we're creating our own, I'm going to call it a flower verse. We're creating our own flower verse. So we can do that. Our flowers look exactly as we want them to. So here we go. We have the delicate, and it was good I put that piece of paper there because I didn't want to get on my embossing. And Emery is back, but she's going to come sit in the chair like a beautiful little girl, or not. Okay. She's decided for the or not option. All right. And don't forget, we're still going to come in and we're going to do some highlighting on that. But then we're going to move over to our next flower. Okay. This one fits in right here. This one I remember because it's got these little bites right there. Okay. Couple little bites. I know. Yeah, Teresa, I'm starting to do the same thing. I think I'll like it when I get a storage solution down and get all the labels on. But yeah, I would love to have some for the newer markers that just came out. That would be very exciting as well. So hopefully, you never know, Altenew, just about the time you think, oh, geez, I wish Altenew had, out it comes. So because that's the beauty is they craft just like we do. So they know. All right. So this one we did the Pastel Sunrise and the Peach Perfect so far. Okay. So this one, we will do the Peach Perfect and the Canyon Clay on this bottom one. And we're going to do the same thing, okay? We're going to come in from the outside because we are going to add that detail layer. But I'm trying not to cause a lot of trouble with those empty spots in the middle. And we can add color. And if you go a little overzealous, Altenew has pigment inks. So you can put the pigment ink over it and it's going to go over and cover your ink. So you're good to go. Oh, Alicia, yes, we do. We can't have enough Altenew. So I do host a Saturday. Every Saturday we have a class with, we focus on one Altenew stamp set for that day. So we would love to have you join. Send me an email. I am just Bridget.Casey at designs@gmail.com or on Facebook if you can catch me on Facebook. Are these colors in a set? So these colors are, this is Martian Terrain. Let me go just to scotch out more. So you get Pastel Sunrise, Canyon Clay, Burnt Red, and Mahogany Bark. The Coral Bliss is from one of the pink sets. This is how I keep all of my colors so I can kind of look and see what I want to use. Okay, so the Coral Bliss, I always get Coral Bliss, and so this is the Martian Terrain all stamped out. I'll show you that one first. So those are the 4 colors in Martian Terrain. And then my Coral Bliss, where are you, my little love? Oh, goodness. Okay, well, I'll show you. So I used the Peach Perfect. That's from 4 Scoops. Okay, and then the Coral Bliss, there we go, is from Tea Party. So the Peach Perfect and Coral Bliss are from 2 different sets, but the Martian Terrain has all those 4. So what we'll do is I'll do this one with Peach Perfect and Coral Bliss, this flower, and the final flower, we'll just use Martian Terrain. All right, I'm going to grab my pink tool because we're going pink. Going pink. All right, and I almost changed at the last minute and said, I need some yellow flowers today, but I didn't. I stayed. It's hard. It's like, oh, because you pick up a stamp set and you could pick up a stamp set in the morning and you're like, oh, I want to use this color combo. And then you pick it up in the evening and you're like, oh, but wait, this one's so pretty too. I want to use this one. It's so hard. It's so hard. All right. Yes. Okay. So we've gotten that in there. So look and see. So this one is the Pastel Sunrise and Peach Perfect. This one is Peach Perfect and Coral Bliss. And this one will go ahead and use Pastel Sunrise and Canyon Clay, which are both from the Martian Terrain. Like these 2 are going rogue. They've left the kids at home. They're out on the road trip with us. They're having a great time. So you guys know how that goes. You guys know. I know you know. All right. Oh my goodness. Being attacked by a cat. It's rough to be a corn some days, guys. All right. Oh goodness. Okay. So I rotated this and I probably shouldn't have, but and if it's off, just kind of wiggle, swiggle, slide and wiggle around until you get into position. All right. And if I'm a little off position, it's okay. No worries. All right. And we're going to do the same thing over here because we have 2 sets of these. But I think it would be pretty too if you had just left that plain and you had this one. Very pretty. All right. So let's start with the Pastel Sunrise. Okay. And again, I'm going to come in from the outside and I'm going to kind of go, of course, keep it darker at the outside because that's what we did. That's what we decided. So I want to have consistency through my flowers. Okay. And with this one, this is the Pastel Sunrise. This is one of my fave colors. One of my faves. Martian Terrain. This 3-piece set was released together. Martian Terrain, Nature's Wonders, and Northern Shore. And it is one of my all-time favorite sets. Yes, happy Halloween to everybody. Thank you, Brandon. Okay, so now we're coming in with Canyon Clay. And this is the second color from Martian Terrain. But I did want to show you guys today, don't be afraid to mix and match those ink colors. Just start grabbing colors. Go for it. Don't be afraid of the color. That's been my crafty goal this year, is to work more with mixing and mingling, letting the colors have a lot of fun together. So here we have our 3 different tones. Then we're going to come in. Okay, let me move my inks there, wiggle them over a little bit. Then we're going to come in. I'm just going to line this up and make sure. And if you have to just wiggle it around a little bit, no worries. I may be in the wrong, I think I'm in the zone here, but to make sure, even if I'm not, I'm okay. If my stencil for some reason is a little crooked, or most times, I just go with it. It just means it's a super duper unique card. Then we'll take burnt red for all 3 of them, okay? So we're going to take burnt red, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous color. Gorgeous color. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and then we're going to have to do something to cover up those little dots if we want to fill them in. We can use the gold pen, so we'll try that, but it will be gold on gold. We could always use the silver if we wanted. Lots of options out there. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are liking the flowers. It just shows, it's fun to mix and match those colors and see what you get. So we're also going to turn this stencil into a 2-step stencil. We got to do the 2-step. I think that's a country. I've always wanted to go line dancing. I never have. But I think that's a country thing, like a line dance, a 2-step. All right. So we're going to go even wilder. Okay. Going to go mahogany bark. We're going to go the darkest out of the set. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go, because we focused on it being darker out at the tip on this particular flower. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add that darker right out around the tip there. And again, if you want to use your detail blending tools, this would be a good time to pull them out and use them. I feel like I have okay control. I use the minis quite frequently, so I feel like I have really good control with my minis. But if you feel like you need a little help and you want to make sure you're precise, those detailed, those are game changers. Each time Altenew came out with these brushes, it was a game changer, and those are great for those nooks and crannies. So here is our flower set. And remember, and you wouldn't even have to color the leaves either, I don't think. I think that's pretty. Maybe we won't do the leaves. Team no leaves. Woohoo! All right, so we're going to flip it. But see, so these colors coordinate because they're similar, but we changed them up. And then we used 2 colors on each of these. It's not as obvious now. We covered some of it up. But you can see right here, I didn't get a lot of mahogany bark. Okay, but I did over on this one. So you can kind of see the difference. This one looks, there's more dimension. To me, it's prettier on that one. So I like that one better. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to flip it again. So we'll go through the same colors again. Okay. So if you're crafting along, and remember, you get these videos on YouTube after. So if you come in late and you're like, oh no, I missed the project, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, and that's the great thing, Deb. This is why I wanted to show this today. Was that, even if you have a stencil that says, okay, this is essentially this is a 2-layer stencil set. Okay, so it helps you to put a base color down, and then it helps you to put a layer. But you can make that. You could turn this section into 4 different colors if you wanted to. So it's just how you want to push your supplies. Okay. So let's put this one here and get it all lined up. And sometimes it's fun to, if you're just sitting down with this stamp set and you're like, okay, I'm going to get to take the time to know you, Mr. Cherry Blossom Punch. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to work together a little bit today. And it may be fun to do one in gold and go straight through just like the packaging says, block it in with solid color, put that in just so you can see the difference. And again, play with those colors, my loves. Play with those colors because you never know what color you're going to find, and it's going to be your combo, and you're going to be so excited about it. So that's what I hope today. I hope today you get super duper tough, and you try those color combos, and you share them with all of us because there's nothing more that we all love than a new amazing color combo. And again, I'm trying to avoid that center, even though my other stencil is going to go over it. That was the plan I started this project with. And if you wanted to change it, you can change it. But I usually, if I start, color is my unicorn. Aw, she's a color corn. Aw, yay. If you're doing this, why did I pull that off? I got so excited, you guys. I get so excited crafting with all of you. I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, just try the colors in here. Try different mix and match. So that first one we had done Peach Perfect and Pastel Sunrise. I think I did them in the reverse order, but all that means is I just put on Pastel Sunrise a little thicker. Okay, it's okay. It's like if you accidentally stamp a layer with the third color and you actually needed the second, just double stamp the second. It's okay. We can fix it. Oh, that's what I was saying. It takes me a second. If you go and you start out the card and you're like, I want it darker around the outside, you can go and put dark on the inside on some flowers. It doesn't matter. This is the thing. You create your flower verse. Okay. That's going to be my saying. Create your own flower verse because it really is. It's what your imagination shows. That's the color you make. And Altenew has made it so that we can do that, which is just absolutely amazing and phenomenal. All right, so we're going to continue on this big fella. The big fella, we used the Martian Terrain full on. So we're going to start with the Pastel Sunrise. Okay, and if you want to, you can come. I'm getting it on my desk. That's okay. just watch me because I'm going to flip the card over and rub it all in there. You know, that's just what I'm going to do. So stay tuned for that. That'll be fun. Remind me, guys, when I pick this up to wipe up the color because I will forget. All right. So now I'm coming in. This is our Martian terrain flower. I'm coming in with the canyon clay. We did pastel sunrise, canyon clay on this big fella. He's the big fella at the bottom on ours, okay? And then I'm going to go across the bottom because it's just such a pretty color. And if you wanted to, so we're going a little rogue. There are no mistakes. Every flower is gorgeous. And it's beautiful because you made it and nobody else can make one like it. We're going to go rogue, okay? Because we're on a wild card trip. Card trip, not cards trip. So what you could do as well, okay, is you could also take the burnt red. So far we're on that first stencil for this flower. We have done pastel sunrise. We've done canyon clay. You can come in on the edges, okay, just lightly with the burnt red. And that's going to give you even more of a different hue, okay? Oh, and I just dropped my brush right on there. That's all right. But you can see, so if I lift that up, because we put all of our color, see the difference between this one and this one? It's lighter because I didn't come in with that burnt red. Adding that burnt red gives it a little bit more flair. And we can still use that burnt red on the overall layer too, because we'll just put it on darker. And that's the great thing. I think that's one of the perks of being a heavy-handed crafter is I'm always ready to throw down a lot of ink into a project. Will you smooch your bottom flower? Smooch. Smooch? Smooch means kiss. I don't want to kiss my bottom flower. But there's nothing below here. So everything is on screen. I can go a little bit wider, but it won't show anything else. We're just doing this right here. Okay. I was like, smooch my flower. Oh, goodness. You guys. Oh, crack me up. Okay. And this one is our Peach Perfect. Okay. Peach Perfect. So don't worry about the colors. If you're saying, wow, I really like those flowers and I want to make them, but I can't remember all those colors. No worries, my love. There's a recording of this, okay? So just watch and chat. Have a cup of cocoa. I just saw that come up in the comments. Have a cup of cocoa with us and have a nice little chat. And this will upload to YouTube and you can watch it anytime you'd like. You can pause. You can do all that. I thought so, Tracy, but it's just when I first read it, I was like, smooch my flower. Oh, goodness. And Emery's here. She's on the scene. She's like, I don't know about this smooching business. Okay. So now we're going to go in. We always have a fun time, don't we? And this is exactly what happens on a road trip. It's like a little game of telephone. You say something and then it turns to something else and we all laugh and have a good chuckle. I always do that. We always do that on road trips. We have such fun time. All right. So this flower was the Peach Perfect Coral Bliss. Okay, this one that we just did. All right, Emery Casey, you're going to sit in the chair. Thank you, baby. All right, well, she's angry. And I have a whoopsie right there. Right there, big one. That's all right. That's all right. We'll make it work. That's why God invented enamel dots. Or whoever invented enamel dots. I'm not up on the enamel dot invention history. I'm not quite aware of who invented what for enamel dots, but all right. That would be interesting to know, though. Who invented the first enamel dot? All right. So we're going to go ahead. And again, it's okay to do. I love that emoji, Tracy. That's one of my favorites. It's okay to do the burnt red again. Okay. Just as long as you take the right blending tool. It's okay. We did that before. And you can start out, and you can add tones. Okay. So you don't have to pack this with color. You can still come in like we did the other one and really make it darker at that end cap, okay? And then spread the color out as well on the other ones. I'm so glad you guys like the lives because I love doing the lives with you guys. It is so much fun. It's like having like 50 to 70 people over to your house to craft. It is so much fun. So you can do that. And as you can see, I didn't block the color. Down here, I blocked that red in the first time. But here, I didn't, okay? So it's a little bit softer, but that's okay. And then we're going to come in with the burnt red, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come in from the outside. And again, would this be a good idea considering I have the blending tool looking right at me? And it's even a brand new blending tool. It's brand new in the package. It would probably be a good idea. Do I do it? Nah, we're on a road trip. We eat potato chips that have fallen under the seat in the bag. And we share Snickers bars. All right. So that's why it's a crafty adventure. I need like a crafty tour bus though, so I could take you all, like stop and pick you all up. And we need one that will go across to the Netherlands, because I know we have others too, but I know Saskia is in the Netherlands, so we need a crafty bus that will go over there. All right. So here's the important thing. Do we do leaves or no leaves? Let's have a vote. If you want to do leaves, put L. No leaves, put NL. And we will, let's see where we end on the leaf, no leaf debate. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, do-do-do, do-do. All right, get one L, All right. Oh, no. Oh, no, Cece. I know. I heard that rumor that the time had changed. Saskia asked me the time this morning, and I told her it was like 4 hours and 26 minutes. And she's like, wow, that's specific. And I'm like, well, I didn't know if your time changed. All right. We have a lot of leaf folks in the house. In the house. We have everybody loves the leaves. All right. I love leaves too. Love them. Lydia is my idol on adding leaves. She adds so many leaves so effortlessly. That's one of my other crafty goals. I don't call them resolutions because then they never happen. So I call them crafty goals. So again, I will carry my, work with mixing color because I didn't feel like I accomplished that this year. So I'm going to work on that next year too. But also I want to work on the addition of lots of leaves. All right. So again, now we have one stencil. So what I like to do, Misty Moore is a really light color. It's beautiful, beautiful, really light though. So like I like to do this end of the spectrum. So we'll do 3 colors on these leaves. Okay. So we're going to start with our marshland for those that are crafting along now or later. And again, I'm going to add color where it would be darker. It would be super dark tucked in under this flower. Okay, and then you can come in lighter from the outside if you want to make sure all your leaves are colored. But when I come in heavy-handed RS, I come in right under those flowers where it's going to be darker. Then sometimes if there's 2 leaves, I like to add a little bit of darkness there because you don't know which leaf is on which. Then to add some lighter color, I come from a distance because I'm heavy-handed, and then I add. So I've put a lot of the color down before I get to my project, okay? So we've got that, and then we'll go ahead. Actually, I think I'm going to flip it because I don't want to do all the way up to the mangrove root. And I remembered, you guys, woohoo! It must be because I'm a unicorn today. That's why I remembered. All right. So again, we're going to do our green. Okay. Because I don't want to go from mangrove root back to marshland. So this is usually when I work on projects too. This is how I kind of do it. I do all the steps for all the pieces as opposed to doing a complete project and then starting again. I like to do all the steps. What about you guys? Do you guys like to do all the steps? Or do you like to do a project if you're mass producing? I just feel I get mixed up. I get mixed up easily when I'm crafting. So, and in life. So I find it's easier if I do it all at once. Now, that's beautiful. You could stop there. You could stop. You could be like, hey, everybody, I'll be done. This is my card. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go wild because why? We are on a crafty adventure. And on Crafty Adventures, we do crazy things like mix Mountain Dew with orange soda and see how it goes. All right. Now we're using Sea Forest. And I'm not going to bring it all the way up the leaf, but I'm going to really focus on where it would be darker. Okay. So right in here, it'd be super dark. Okay. And then you can add it to one color so it looks like it's going that way. Okay. Joni, I hadn't seen you come in. Hello. Yeah, I like to do everything all at once. It's so much easier that way. All right. So again, this is with 2 colors. Look how pretty. And we're just using, this is just, so I always say this, but I really mean it. Those simple coloring stencils from All to New, do not let them deceive you. They are not simple coloring stencils. They can be, you can just fill in one layer. But let me tell you, if you just take an ink family and a simple coloring stencil, you can add so much. You can make it so pretty. You can do so much with it. But that's what All to New likes to do. They like to give us all the supplies and all the options, and they say, hey, go for it. Let's see what you can make gorgeous. All right. So now we can go back, and now we can do our mangrove root. Now we're not going to use as much of this because this is a dark color here. But I am going to go up where it's darkest, and then I'm going to go down the side. I'm not going to follow the whole way. And if this is too light for you, you can always take your darkest color and basically let your blending brush levitate over it. I mean, no pressure. And that will take off some of the color, okay? That brightness, if you don't want the brightness. But I like the brightness. I don't know. So see, this went from a simple card to now it's really turned into fall colors, I think. We just had a really pretty kind of peachy toned card, and now it really looks fall. So whoever mentioned like the cocoa or pumpkin spice stuff, like that's how we're kind of going today. We all need, I've never had a pumpkin spice latte. I'm not really a pumpkin gal, but you know. So again, this is really bright compared to my others. So I can just come in, basically let my brush levitate. I am basically just holding it. I am putting no pressure. I am just holding it and rubbing it very gently over there. So that is our project for this one. And of course, I've got a few ink splotches on there. And we have the flower centers. You could do enamel dots in there. Oh, Wendy, you and I, not the pumpkin folk. I mean, I like pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. I have to be honest. I love those. But so on this, you could put enamel dots in the center, or you can do gold. So let's do one. We have a little bit of time. So we'll do this one. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do it as the stencil shows us. So basically, we're going to add one layer to the leaves, and we're going to add one layer to the thing. While I am wiping off the stencils, I would like to have a vote. Do we start with Peach Perfect, Pastel Sunrise, or Canyon Clay? Now, Canyon Clay is the darkest. Pastel Sunrise is the lightest. What color do we think? So you could put pastel, you could put CC for Canyon Clay, PS for Pastel Sunrise, or PP for Peach Perfect. So the first few votes I get, that's the one we'll go with. Okay, I got a Canyon Clay, apple cider with Fireball. I don't think that's the color, the darkest. Canyon Clay. All right, that's the vote. We'll go with that one. And then while you guys are thinking, also pick one of the ink colors, okay? So Marshland will just be M. Sea Forest is SF, and Mangrove Root is MR. Mista. That's from an Adam Sandler movie. I felt like Jim Carrey today in The Pet Detective with my tutu on. So I should have been Jim Carrey. All right, I was going to start with the leaves. What am I doing? Oh my gosh. I get having so much fun with you guys, and it just I get out of control with crafting here. Just out of control. All right, so we're going to get that down there, and we chose by popular vote the Canyon Clay, which is gorgeous, darling. Okay, and what we can do is we'll start in the center, and I'm just going to go around because I don't want to put excess ink in the center. Okay, and then I can start off, and it'll go lighter here on the edges. Okay, so we're going to put the one color, and you could use, your large blending tool for this if you wanted to. Because that would just put, a lot of color in there for you if you wanted to do that. So we got that flower in. And then this is our fella right here. Making sure I line him up correctly. So we're doing 1 layer cards today. I guess today we are I'm channeling my inner Amy Hill, because you guys know I am usually the dimension girl. If I can add foam tape is going on the floral. I love foam tape. Okay, Mista. All right, I see a lot of Mista. So we're going to go Mista. All right, when we put that on. So we're just adding the color. And again, you can go light or dark. You can do a lot with one ink pad too. You can add detail with this, just the Canyon clay. If you want to, you can do the same thing we did on the other one and just add it around the outside of the petals to make it a little darker. You can have darker petals on the outside of your flowers. That's okay. So see, I've added more around the outside on that one. So it looks a little different. Even though it's in a cluster, you could have, make rainbow flowers. We should have done that. I didn't realize I would be a unicorn that was a rainbow. But we could have made a rainbow flowers. So do like red, orange, yellow, and then the other one do the blue, green. You guys know. I don't have to tell you. All right. So we're going to go here. Oh, I'm glad, Joni. These, I feel so bad because I use these colors all the time. So I just feel bad because I'm like, they're probably like, lady, pick some different colors. Come on. So, and I'm going heavy-handed on this one, okay? So that it looks a little different. I want all 3 of my flowers to look a scotch different. These 2 are pretty similar, but so using just that one. Okay, so while I do the leaves, and of course I went off my paper on this one too, while I do the leaves, okay, BR, I like those initials, or the mahogany bark. You need to see how a unicorn would do it. Okay, I will make that and I will post that. So MB or BR, and that's the next layer of the flower. But right now we'll go to the leaves. Everybody chose Mr. Well, everybody, but the popular vote was Mista. And this is, I'm great. I'm so glad you guys chose this one because I can show you, let's say you're on a crafty road trip. You are. But let's say you're in the car with your peeps and you're going along and you're like, I'm going to ink blend while we drive. I'm seeing a lot of MB. We're liking those dark colors today. And let's say you forgot all of your ink pads except this one. And you're like, oh, I can't do all the leaves with that. But you can, my loves. So I'm just going to get a lot of that excess ink off on my stencil. Then I'm going to go in. Again, I'm putting no pressure down, like barely any pressure. And look at that pretty light green that I'm getting. Look how gorgeous that is. Okay, so it's all about the pressure. Just because it's the darkest color doesn't mean it has to be. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. And I'm dying to add some highlights, but we said we were going to follow the stencil on this one so you guys could see both ways. So I'm just doing it light. So you can go in. It's a beautiful dark color, but you can go super light. Okay, so some quick, I know, I would drop that too. I think a 1-layer card means, is your panel not any dimension? That is my opinion. I'm not sure. I know Amy's thing with it is she loves dimension too, but she doesn't want to pay the postage. So if she popped up her 1-layer panel, then she still has dimension. So for me, I think this is great. Even if you pop it up, it's still not as much, and it's safer to go through the mail because it's really supported. Okay. Now the question is, are we going to go light or dark with the mahogany bark? Let's see some L or D in the chats. Let's see what you guys want to do. And then we'll add our final touch of the, who's it? The pens. Yeah, Roxy, I probably would have mini ink cubes and the radiator heater thingy-majiggy. I would be all over the place with that. It would be very bad. Very, very bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're going dark medium. Okay, I love it, Sherry, that you're popping your own option. I love it. I love it. It means you feel comfortable here crafting with all of us to make a suggestion. And that's what that's all about here, my loves. Okay, now I've rotated my thingy-majiggy here. So we're going to go here. And they are all different sizes. It's like the three bears. One's big, one's medium, one's little. All right. So I don't see anything sticking out. So we went with dark mahogany bark. All right. So I think I picked the pink one up. See what color this is. All right. So, and I love using, especially like if you took the Peach Perfect or the Pastel Sunrise, and I love doing that. I love using a 1 in 4. I think it's very dramatic on a flower, and I just love that. I think it's beautiful. And again, where you could clear heat emboss the flower centers if you wanted to. I think for these ones, before I use the gold pen, these ones, I'm just going to do the marshland because it's a pale green. And if I don't like it or the Misty Moor, I'm sorry, it's like a pale, pale green. And if I don't like it for some reason, I could always add some color over it. And again, those pigment inks are always a good idea because they're going to cover everything. So my little dots are red. I'm okay with that. We just need the green one. Okay. So I'm going to go in and I'm just lightly going to go over the center. And you could use an enamel dot. So I'm just lightly going over that. But it's beautiful how it covers all of these for us. My attention is more in that center one because the rest of them, they have those kind of dots out. So see how it's really, you can see between the sides. See, it's like a really pale, pale green, which is just beautiful. Then we will finish off our centers. And and then you just have to pick a sentiment, which is probably the most difficult piece. But a lot of times when I make cards, I know where they're going. So you can pick one, but I lately have not been picking sentiments because I always seems to have the wrong one by the time I get there. All right, so there's that one. We put the Misty Moor in the center. And then I will use some enamel dots and a sand eraser to try to get rid of my boo-boos. And then what I would do is just take my sentiment and probably put it right in the center. Oh, you're so welcome, Sarah. Thank you for joining us. Yes, the Stampin' Stencil, and there is a die as well. Cece, it's right here. So there's the die there. We just didn't use it today. We did 1 layer cards. But yeah, so you could even put, if you want to put your sentiment down here, but the Grateful for You would be great right there. Really pretty. Anything you choose is going to be gorgeous. Altenew makes sure of that. All right. We got that. So now you can come in with your beautiful gold. Okay. And you can just color over it with your must-have gel pen set. Okay, and I think the gold works really well with, see the difference between the blank ones? I think the gold works really well with a Martian terrain. I really like that together. If the silver looks better to you, go for it. You could even do this. I think it would be fun to do this in either white or clear and use, the gel pen, and then you'll see the color differentiation. But I think, using a white or a clear embossing powder really, to me, gives you that no line look on your projects. Oh, you gotta have gold, my loves. You gotta have gold. Absolutely have to have gold. I feel like I'm back in kindergarten trying to color inside the circle, which after today is a little challenging. But so you can see the difference. Look at the difference that gives you. And it really adds to your flower. But we will put the cards next to each other so you can see. And I think it would be pretty if you did all the steps we did on the other one. Okay. But you instead, oh, I got some on there. Now, listen, if you are going to use this, do not use the die after. Use your die. This is the absolute last step that you do, okay, is the gel pen. Because it can stick on your plates. You can get the color transferred to your plates. I've done that so many times. If you've ever used a gel pen, you guys know the heartache when you pull it up and you're like, oh, it smushed my gel pen. All right, so we're going to come out so you guys can see just how far you can push stencils. Okay, so we just made a literally 2-layer stencil into a 4-layer stencil. And we also created interest by mixing some of the different colors, bringing a couple over on the, can you use gel pens over clear embossing powder? So as you saw, or maybe you didn't see, I got some on the black and it wipes right off. I don't think that it would dry on you can use them. It's not going to ruin the tip. It's not like an artist marker. So it won't ruin the tip of your gel pen. So you can use it together. So that's absolutely fine. Whether or not it won't stay on the embossing because the embossing comes slick. And another tip, if you use the white or clear embossing for this, make sure as you stencil, you wipe off the embossing powder as well. Because remember that the embossing powder is going to hold that color on top until you wipe it off because it is a slick surface. So you're just layering color on there. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cards that are there. And I promised I'd put my unicorn back on for the thing. So we will come over and switch so you guys can see. But remember, these are on YouTube as well. So if you have to miss it, if you have a doctor's appointment or the kids have a game and you're like, oh, but I got to see what they did today. Or you watch one and you're like, I'd love to make that card, but it was live and I missed it. They're all over there waiting for you. You can stop us, pause us, fast forward through sections, all of that. So I can't wait to see you again. I see you about mid-November, which I'm already very, very excited to do. And I have a stunning set picked out for us to work, but it will be a newbie, so we won't, it'll be a newbie, and it's gorgeous and stunning and large and delicious and just all those amazing things that we know Altenew does so well. So until next time, my friends, happy crafting, and I will see you all very, very soon in another crafty adventure. Bye, everyone.